The second season of the series begins with Wednesday tied up in a creepy place, surrounded by a group of toy dolls. Wednesday tells us she is in the basement of a serial killer who thinks she will be his next victim. Wednesday informs us she spent the entire vacation training to master her supernatural ability, using Goody's book filled with magical spells. Wednesday recounts that 6 weeks ago, she decided to search the thing that controlled her when she was 6 years old, while investigating a serial killer. Nobody could catch this killer because he is extremely elusive. To find his location, she needed a clue from the evidence found at his latest crime scene. With Thing's help, Wednesday obtains a bowling ball belonging to the killer's last victim. When Wednesday touches the ball, she experiences a kind of shock, sees a vision, and determines the killer's location. However, when she goes to catch him, she fails and he overpowers her, locking her in the basement. Currently, Wednesday tells us the killer thinks he controls her, and she has no intention of changing his mind. Then, the killer enters where Wednesday is, having made a small doll resembling her, preparing to finish her off. Suddenly, Thing appears, attacks the killer, and delivers powerful blows, knocking him to the ground. Wednesday grabs a knife, approaches the killer, and after a while, we see Wednesday in her room, with a newspaper article pinned on the wall stating the serial killer was caught with the help of a young girl. It appears Wednesday is still writing her novel on the typewriter. At that moment, her mother, Morticia, enters to hurry her because she doesn't want her to be late for her first day of school. Morticia says she wished to spend more time with her during the summer vacation. Wednesday apologizes to her mother because she spent the vacation writing her new novel. Then, Wednesday rides in the car with her mother, Morticia, her father, Gomez, and her brother, Pugsley, who is also joining Nevermore Academy in his first year. Gomez is very proud of his son and his supernatural abilities, especially since Lurch, the driver, witnessed his training. We notice Lurch's face is full of malice. His left eye is black, and his right eye is purple, showing anger when he recalls Pugsley blowing up the car during his training, causing him to lose his right eye. In another place, a man waits for someone specific. Moments later, a car arrives, and a woman gets out, runs to him, and hugs him. At that moment, someone photographs him from a distance, but is surprised to see a black crow perched on the tree behind him. The man gets nervous because the crow's eyes are red, but he continues his work as usual. Soon, the number of crows increases, perching on his car without him noticing. The red-eyed crow makes a sound as if giving an order to attack the man. The man tries to escape and hide inside the car from the attacking crows. He takes out his phone, calls his friend, and tells him he has been exposed. He informs him that if he dies, the evidence is in the cabin. As soon as he finishes the call, he is shocked to find the car filled with crows. Suddenly, they attack him and kill him brutally. We go to Nevermore Academy, which opens its gates for Wednesday's car and her family. When they get out of the car, Morticia tells Wednesday to take care of her brother. Wednesday says she always takes care of him. Here, Wednesday recalls in her memory how much she took care of her brother, to the point of putting him in a wooden coffin and nailing it shut. Then, they enter the school and all the students look at Wednesday with great admiration, some taking pictures of her with their phones, while others ask for her autograph. Wednesday is surprised and tells him she doesn't care about such things and doesn't like them. Bianca comes and tells the new students to stay away from Wednesday. She tells Wednesday she had become famous after saving Nevermore Academy from the demonic creature. Wednesday stays silent and doesn't respond. Bianca understands Wednesday is upset about her fame and tells her that the more she tries to escape fame, the more famous she becomes. When Bianca leaves, Barry, the new school principal, appears and calls Wednesday. He says it's an honor to meet the school's savior and informs her he is reviving the founder's Bonfire ceremony, an old tradition of the outcast school, to be celebrated the next night. He says he wants her to be the guest of honor at the event, but Wednesday tells him she doesn't like talking about the dead, leaves him, and walks away. Wednesday goes to her room, and when she opens the door, she finds many students celebrating. Enid, her roommate, comes and welcomes her, quickly asking all the students to leave the room. Wednesday notices Enid is interested in her friend Bruno and bids him farewell before he leaves. Enid gives Wednesday a gift, a black t-shirt, because she knows Wednesday loves black. Wednesday doesn't like the t-shirt, but accepts it anyway. She tells Enid she also brought her a gift and gives her a doll resembling Enid. Enid is surprised by the gift, but accepts it and thanks Wednesday. Enid tells Wednesday she has many ambitions she wants to achieve this year, like becoming the cheerleading team captain and joining the Nightshade Society. When Enid asks Wednesday about her ambitions, Wednesday says she will avoid people and focus on finishing her new novel. At that moment, Wednesday opens a closet door to a room, and suddenly an arrow shoots out, attached to a picture of her with the school principal, with a welcome message to Wednesday written on it. Wednesday realizes someone is watching her and tries to find out who threw her visions, but fails. She tells things she couldn't see the person watching her. Black tears fall from Wednesday's eyes, and Enid notices, alerting her. Wednesday quickly wipes her tears and tells Enid not to focus too much on her. Wednesday goes downstairs to say goodbye to her family and is surprised to learn Barry asked Morticia to stay at the school this year as the head of the fundraising committee, especially after Xavier's mother left the school with her son. Wednesday learns Xavier will go to an academy in Switzerland and won't be at the school this year. Barry takes Morticia to show her the house she will live in and tells her she can spend the night with her husband, think about it, and inform him of her decision the next day. If she agrees, that place will be her home for the year. Wednesday asks Morticia why she wants to stay at the school. Morticia says she is worried about her, especially since Goody's absence will disturb her, as Goody is her spiritual guide. Her presence will help until a new guide appears. Wednesday tells her she is from the Ravens, and their way is different in the kingdom of magic. She says she can't help her because she is a dove. Morticia surprises her, saying she has previous experience with ravens. Wednesday says she knows she's talking about her Aunt Ophelia and asks her to take care of her brother and not worry about her. Gomez comes and asks Morticia what's happening. Shocked, Morticia tells him Wednesday is hiding many things from them, and they need to know them. She says she's afraid history will repeat itself. Wednesday goes out and walks in the forest, noticing ambulances and police cars on the road. We learn they are transporting the body of the journalist Carl. The police are surprised by the way he died and learn he was watching his boss with her lover, but for them, that's not a sufficient reason for Carl to be killed this way. At that moment, Wednesday sees someone running in the forest, manages to hit him, and knocks him to the ground. It turns out to be Detective Galpin, who tells her the victim's name is Carl, his friend, and they were working together on a case that caused his death. He says Carl discovered something by chance that will affect the outcasts at the school. Wednesday asks in surprise if he now cares about the outcasts. He reminds her his son, Tyler, is one of them, and though he knows what he did, it's not his fault. Wednesday says his son was a monster from the start. Galpin interrupts her, saying he needs her help to reach the danger threatening the outcasts. Wednesday doesn't respond and leaves him. Galpin stops her, saying she didn't come to the crime scene by chance, and something hidden brought her there. He tells her if she changes her mind, she should come to him, and warns her about the ravens constantly watching them. At night, a student named Ajax tells a legendary story to the new students called the Skull Tree. Ajax says it about a smart boy with a heart condition who spent his days in the hospital, drawing strange machines, hoping to build them someday. The doctors told him he would die in a few months, so he designed a heart for himself to keep up with his brilliant mind. The heart transplant succeeded, but the new artificial heart completely changed the boy, making him emotionless and always driven by his ambitions. When he arrived at Nevermore Academy, they welcomed him as a genius and inventor, but over time, his inventions became dangerous. One night, his genius cost him his life when the place exploded during an experiment. Ajax says the legend claims the boy's body is buried under a tree called the Skull Tree, and no one could reach it because it's in a terrifying, scary place only the brave can access. Ambition appears on Pugsley's face, clearly wanting to go to the tree. At the same time, Barry welcomes Bianca in his office, expresses admiration for her supernatural abilities, and asks if she has future aspirations. When she stays silent, he offers her a chance to join the fundraising committee. Bianca declines, so he says she is a scholarship student, and the school is facing financial difficulties, fearing she might lose her scholarship. He wants to raise donations for her. Bianca understands he is threatening her, so she is forced to join him. That night, the mother opens a book about her sister Ophelia, sadness appearing on her face. Pugsley is in his room, looking at the Skull Tree's location on a map. We see Barry take out a picture of the former principal Larissa and look at it with sadness and emotion. At the same time, we see an unknown person holding a picture of Wednesday and cutting out her eyes. Wednesday goes to the music room and plays. The new music teacher, Capri, introduces herself and says she notices Wednesday plays to release the pain and sadness inside her. Wednesday says she doesn't need lessons from anyone, leaves her, and walks away. The next night, Wednesday is surprised that Xavier sent her a message, saying he tried to call her on the phone he gave her, but to no avail. Wednesday recalls the moment she got rid of the phone by throwing it into the water. She is surprised that Xavier sent her a painting of a raven with red eyes standing over a grave. In the message, Xavier says the painting is a farewell gift and that it appeared in his imagination suddenly, unsure of its meaning but certain the raven is connected to her. Wednesday notices something strange on her desk, opens a drawer, and discovers her novel is gone, replaced by a picture of her with her eyes cut out. A message from the person watching her says he is a creature of fire and will burn her novel that night at the founder's bonfire ceremony. Wednesday runs to the ceremony quickly. There, a group of students passes by her, placing a note with sharp razors in her pocket. When she grabs it, her hand gets injured, but she opens a note. The person watching her says if she doesn't want her novel burned, she must enter the statue. Wednesday follows his words immediately and goes on the statue quickly to find her novel. She keeps moving until she finds her novel in front of her. At that moment, Barry welcomes the new students and throws a flame from his hand onto the statue to burn it. Nevertheless, Wednesday walks through the fire to reach her novel, manages to get it before the fire burns it, and exits at the last moment before the entire statue burns with her. She walks among the students calmly and confidently. Barry welcomes her and says without her courage, no one would be at the celebration because Wednesday saved the school. He reveals a large painting of Wednesday with her classmates as a symbol of gratitude for saving the school. Barry asks Wednesday to say a word to the new students on this occasion. Wednesday speaks to the students, saying they still have a long time to face and defeat evil. The students like her speech and keep clapping, but Wednesday shocks them by setting the painting on fire, saying she doesn't like people overly glorifying her. At that time, Pugsley goes to the skull tree, puts his ear to it to hear the genius boy's heartbeat, but suddenly a raven comes out from the tree and falls to the ground. Many electric shocks come out of it, causing a terrifying body to emerge from the ground. Strangely, Pugsley isn't scared and keeps smiling. At that moment, Wednesday returns to her room, and Enid follows her, putting her hands on her shoulder. Wednesday feels a strong shock. Black tears fall from her eyes, and she loses consciousness, entering another world full of graves surrounded by ravens. Wednesday is shocked to see a grave with Enid's name on it. Suddenly, Enid appears in a terrifying form, attacks Wednesday, and says she died because of her. At that moment, Wednesday wakes up, black tears streaming from her eyes, her body trembling violently. Her mother comes, shocked by what's happening. Wednesday wakes up, upset about her friend, but her mother reassures her that Enid is fine. Then, she takes her and sits with her alone in the room, saying she knows the reason for the black tears falling from her eyes. She says it's exhaustion from overusing her supernatural ability. Wednesday asks how to get rid of the tears, but Morticia gives her goody spell book and says she shouldn't rush to eliminate the forces of evil. She tells her that at the right time, a new guide will appear to direct her life. Wednesday says she is in a hurry, leaves her, and walks away. Morticia stops her, saying she is her mother, not her enemy, and must know her supernatural gift is a blessing from God that she must preserve. Wednesday doesn't listen to her, leaves, and goes to Galpin's house to talk to him. She keeps knocking on the door, but no one opens it. She is surprised to find the door open and enters. When she enters, she finds Galpin dead with his eyes gouged out, the same way his friend Carl died. Wednesday is shocked to see many ravens coming out of Galpin's mouth, fly to the room's ceiling, as if looking for an exit until they break the glass and leave. The red-eyed raven remains, standing in front of her. When she approaches it, it flies away from her and leaves the room. Wednesday tries to touch Galpin's body, hoping to see something and find out why the ravens killed him. She grabs his body and tries to see a vision, but it doesn't happen. She tries to focus more, but discovers her supernatural power isn't working. She feels something is wrong, tries to leave the house, but finds the police in front of her and they arrest her. At the police station, the police chief asks what she was doing at Galpin's house so late. Wednesday says Galpin asked her to visit him. The chief says Carl called Galpin before he died in the same way. The chief wants to know the connection between Galpin and Carl, especially since they searched for Galpin's phone, but couldn't find it. She asks if Wednesday knows anything about it. At that moment, Gomez enters, introduces himself to the police chief as his daughter's lawyer, and says if she wants to investigate her, she must submit an official request through the court. He takes his daughter and leaves. While they are returning, Gomez asks Wednesday why she wanted to visit Galpin. She tells him about what happened between them the previous day, and says she wanted to know the reason for his friend's death. Gomez blames her for her recklessness and says her mother wouldn't like this. Wednesday surprises him, saying he must take her mother and return home. Gomez tells her mother wouldn't accept that. Wednesday asks him about what happened to her Aunt Ophelia, but Gomez refuses to tell her, saying it's better she hears the story from her mother. The next day, Pugsley comes out of Eugene's beehive cabin. Eugene appears and asks where he was the previous night during the ceremony and what he's doing in his cabin. We learn Eugene lives with Pugsley in the same room, so they become friends. Eugene is shocked when he sees a monster that appeared to Pugsley the previous night inside the cabin. The monster tries to attack Eugene, but Pugsley hits it and returns it to its place. It turns out Pugsley tied the monster with chain and treats it like his pet. Moreover, this monster is the boy Ajax told him about because the metal heart is inside his body. Ajax tells Eugene the monster's heart started working because of the shocks that came from Pugsley. Although Eugene is scared of the monster, he offers it honey to eat, but the monster spits the honey back at them. At that time, Wednesday returns to her room and talks the thing, saying she's surprised her power is weakening, and she saw a vision of Enid dying, with herself as the cause of her death. The matter is related to the Ravens, and she wants to know the truth. She tells him she will surely find answers in Goody's book. Wednesday enters her room, and is surprised to find the person watching her send a message to Enid's phone. She asks Enid to call the number that sent the message. Wednesday is shocked to learn the phone that sent the message is Galpin's, discovered through a recorded message on the phone. Wednesday understands the person who killed Galpin is using his phone. Enid is terrified at the thought she might be implicated in Galpin's murder and blames Wednesday for always getting herself into trouble. She leaves her to attend driving lessons. Wednesday asks Thing to search Goody's book for a solution to her weakening power. Wednesday goes and meets Barry, who is with a teacher named Orloff. Wednesday asks him if he knows any students who control birds. Orloff says no student at the school controls birds, and the last student who did was there 10 years ago. We go to Morticia, who is sitting with Bianca. It appears Bianca is trying to convince Morticia to accept being the head of the fundraising committee. We go to Pugsley and Eugene, who go to feed the monster. After feeding it, they leave it. It turns out the food gives the monster strength because it can break the chain and free itself. Wednesday goes to Thing and tells him she will visit Tyler. She takes the driving lesson ticket Enid forgot and impersonates her to make the driving instructor take her to the place she wants to go. The driving instructor is surprised that Wednesday knows how to drive and has high driving skills. When she reaches her destination, she leaves him. We learn Tyler is detained in a prison in a mental hospital. When Wednesday enters a hospital, she meets Dr. Fairburn, who is responsible for Tyler's condition. Fairburn says Tyler talked about her a lot before. It appears Fairburn knows Wednesday is visiting Tyler because of his father's death. Wednesday asks if Tyler knows about his father's death. Fairburn says she can't confirm that because Tyler is elusive and doesn't speak honestly with anyone. They go to the place where Tyler is detained. Before Wednesday enters, Fairburn tells her she will monitor the meeting, and if she senses any danger, she will press the red button. Wednesday enters to see Tyler. When Tyler sees her, he says he knew she would come to visit him and tries to attack her, but the guard controls him through restraints on his body, stopping him. Wednesday informs Tyler his father died the previous night, and his friend Carl died the same way. She asks if he has any connection to what happened. Tyler denies it, saying he's locked in a prison and knows nothing about what she's saying. Wednesday realizes she won't get any useful information from him and leaves. Tyler stops her, asking her to say hi to Enid and tell her he will finish her off the moment he sees her, and she will carry the guilt of her friend's death until her last day. Wednesday responds, saying he's just a stupid student anyone can use, just like Marilyn used him before. She tells him he has nothing good to offer the world. Tyler gets angry, transforms into a monster, but the guard controls him and stops him. Wednesday says she doesn't need to visit him again, that he's locked up like any animal in a cage, and leaves. At the school, Eugene goes to Pugsley and tells him the monster escaped. At the same time, Enid enters her room with her friend Bruno and talks a bit with Thing to introduce him to her friend. While they talk, Enid is surprised that something strange is happening to Bruno. Thing tries to get out of the box, but someone hidden locks him inside. At the same time, Bianca goes to Barry in his office. He asks if she managed to convince Morticia to join the fundraising event. She says she hasn't done that yet. It appears Bianca doesn't like that Barry is exploiting her. She uses her power on him to make him back off, but she fails because Barry is stronger. He says he can crush and destroy her in a moment and asks her to complete her task quickly, or her fate will be death. That night, Wednesday returns to her room and is surprised that thing is locked in the box. She opens it and asks about Enid. He points to her, saying she ran quickly, screaming, and he doesn't know what happened. Enid's phone rings and Wednesday answers. The person calling says he kidnapped Enid and tells her the game has started. He says she has 30 minutes to find her friend or he will kill her. He also says if she involves anyone in the game, he will kill her friend and he's watching her all the time. A note is slipped on the door. Wednesday runs to see who threw it, but no one is there. In another place, we see Wednesday and her friend Bruno tied up with chains. When they wake up, they realize they are in the abandoned Iago Tower. They are surprised because no one has gone to that tower in a long time. They try to free themselves, but to no avail. They want to know who did this to them. Suddenly, they find a group of knives appearing above them. Wednesday tries to figure out what's written on the note to find her friend's location. She meets Capri by chance, who asks her to come play some music. Wednesday says she's not free. After Capri leaves, Wednesday notices the note contains musical symbols. She enters the music classroom and starts playing. Suddenly, a place opens inside the classroom with a tunnel behind it. She enters the tunnel and goes down the stairs inside. She finds a mask on the ground, picks it up, and continues her way until she reaches Iago Tower. She and Thing go up to the top floor. Wednesday is shocked to find Enid and Bruno tied with chains. She orders Thing to free them quickly, but Thing doesn't notice a trap, and knives fall from the ceiling, one piercing him, stopping him. The gears start moving, and the knives begin descending on Enid and Bruno. Wednesday moves quickly into place to find a solution and save them. She finds a typewriter with a paper containing a question she must answer to free her friend. Wednesday searches through the books around her to find the right answer. The knives are getting closer, about to kill Enid and Bruno. But Wednesday finds the right answer and writes it quickly. The knives stop just before killing them. Suddenly, a girl appears out of nowhere, the same girl Wednesday met when she first came to school, who admired her and her abilities. Her supernatural power is invisibility. The girl congratulates Wednesday because it's prank day and tells her everything that happened was just a prank for the occasion. The girl introduces herself as Agnes and says she's one of Wednesday's biggest fans, hoping to be like her one day. Wednesday realizes Agnes is behind everything that happened. She blames her for killing Carl and Galpin. Agnes says she has nothing to do with the murders, but took Galpin's phone to continue the prank. She gives the phone to Wednesday, hoping it will help her find the real killer. Wednesday takes the phone and leaves the place with her friends. That night, Bianca goes to Morticia to control her and make her call her mother, forcing her to donate the largest amount to the school. We learn this is Barry's plan from the start, as he is greedy for Morticia's mother's wealth to seize it. Bianca uses her power and confirms to Morticia, under its influence, that she won't mention to anyone that she visited her. Morticia says she will do so. Wednesday returns to her room and discovers Goody's book is missing. She guesses her mother came and took it. She intends to yell at Thing for what happened, but notices a raven standing outside the window. She runs toward it quickly, but the raven flies into the forest. We see the monster walking among the trees. At the same time, a teacher is driving his car on the road, but suddenly the monster appears in front of him. He can't control the car and hits it. He gets out to check on it, but is shocked to find the monster gone. Suddenly, the monster appears behind him, knocks him to the ground, and eats him. Wednesday sneaks into her mother's room to search for the book, but doesn't find it. Morticia enters and says she knew Wednesday would come to look for the book, and it's not reasonable to hide it in the box. She tells her she had a vision where she saw herself in a graveyard full of ravens, with a red-eyed raven standing on Enid's grave. Enid appeared and held her responsible for her death. She tells her this raven is the same one that killed Galpin and Carl, and she wants to find the real killer, because these aren't just random attacks. Someone controlling the birds is behind it, and she must reach them before they reach her friend Enid and kill her. She asks her to return the book because she will find the answer in it. Morticia refuses, saying she won't find any answers in the book, only things that will cause her great pain in her life. She says she doesn't have the patience like her sister Ophelia, who let her supernatural power drive her to madness. Wednesday says she's not her sister, leaves her and walks away. The next day, Wednesday searches Galpin's phone for anything that can help her reach the killer. At that time, Enid is busy choosing clothes for the camping event. Wednesday talks to Thing about the vision of Enid's death. Suddenly, Agnes appears and says she heard her conversation. Wednesday warns her that if anyone finds out about this, she will kill her. Agnes promises the matter will stay a secret between them and says she can help her greatly. Wednesday refuses any help from her. At that time, we see Pugsley and Eugene, who manage to find the monster and tied it up again in the cabin. They notice its brain is starting to form, and no one knows why. It turns out the monster fed on the driver's brain when it killed him. Suddenly, the monster speaks a word. Pugsley is happy, thinking it's saying his name, but Eugene says it's saying brain, meaning it feeds on minds. Pugsley doesn't believe him. At that moment, the monster attacks Eugene to eat him, but Pugsley hits it with a shock and returns it to its place. Wednesday accepts Agnes's help and is impressed by her skill because she can change her appearance to match people's descriptions. She also has many things she took from Galpin's house. Wednesday searches through them and sees a picture of a specific cabin with Cabin 2015 written on the back. She opens a map to find the cabin's location and manages to reach it. She notices the cabin is near the campsite where the school students are camping that night. She decides to go to the camp. There, she is surprised to see her brother carrying a black coffin. She asks what's inside it. He says he put some fireworks in it. It turns out he hid the monster inside the coffin so as not to leave it alone, which is clear when the coffin moves, but Pugsley kicks it to make it quiet. At that moment, everyone is surprised that the scout team leader, Ron, is talking to Barry, saying the campsite land belongs to them, and he has ownership papers. Barry argues with him, saying he has more right to the campsite land. Wednesday intervenes, saying they will hold a competition between them and the scout team, and the winner will stay on the land. They like the idea and agree. The competition begins, with each team protecting its egg from the other. The team that places the egg on the tower wins. Initially, the scout team manages to take the egg from the Nevermore team, but Wednesday acts quickly and gives orders to Thing to execute the plan they agreed on. Thing signals Eugene, who uses bees to confront the scout team Smoke. Wednesday manages to reach the egg. She sees a scout team member taking the egg and heading to the tower, but she reaches it faster and places the egg on the tower at the last moment, winning the competition. That night, Wednesday leaves the camp and goes to Cabin 2015. She searches for anything that could help her reach the killer. She finds a hidden place with pictures of many outcasts who died over the past years. She finds the name Lois written on the wall. She places her hand on the wall, hoping to see a vision and learn the truth, but she fails due to her weakened power. She decides to retrieve Goody's book at any cost. At that moment, the Raven is standing behind the glass, watching them. Wednesday goes to her mother and asks for the book one last time, but her mother refuses again. Wednesday challenges her to a duel in the forest, and her mother agrees. At the same time, the monster attacks the scout team leader and eats his brain. The rest of the scout team is terrified by the sight and runs away. Wednesday and her mother begin the duel, with Thing as the referee. Pugsley and Eugene discover the monster ate the scout team leader's brain and are shocked by what happened. Suddenly, Agnes appears and tells them the monster escaped from the tent, and they must find it because it's dangerous. The monster moves through the camp and heads into the forest, where it sees Wednesday dueling her mother. Morticia wins the duel, but Wednesday throws the sword at her forcefully to stop the monster before it reaches and eats her. She manages to hit the monster in the head and pins it to the tree. The police arrive, arrest it, and take it away. At that moment, Wednesday sees an unknown person with a raven on their shoulder, and suddenly the person disappears. Wednesday returns to her room and starts analyzing all the evidence she gathered to understand why Galpin and Carl were investigating the ravens, as they wouldn't have died if they hadn't. The next day, we see Fairburn welcoming Marilyn at the hospital, asking her to see her son Tyler to help treat him. Marilyn agrees and enters to see Tyler. When Tyler sees her, he transforms into a monster and chokes her. She apologizes and says she will make up for everything. Tyler calms down and throws her to the ground. Wednesday starts searching the graves for the remains of the outcasts who died. She is surprised when her grandmother visits her at the graveyard. Her grandmother says her mother invited her to attend the fundraising event. She asks Wednesday why she's searching for the outcast bodies in the graves. Wednesday tells her about the case she's investigating and says her mother refuses to give her Goody's book to find the solution. Suddenly, the raven attacks the place, takes Wednesday's papers, and flies away. Wednesday runs after it, hoping to catch it, but fails. She returns to her grandmother and asks her to buy all the graves so she can search them freely. It appears the grandmother loves Wednesday and agrees to her request. When Wednesday returns to her room, she finds Agnes waiting for her. Agnes tells her the bird controller knows they're investigating them, and they don't have much time left. They must stop them before Enid dies. Wednesday says after the new evidence she saw, most answers will be found in the mental hospital. Wednesday goes and meets her Uncle Fester, asking him to enter the mental hospital. While they talk, Fester releases a shock from his hand, hitting Agnes, making her appear. Fester is annoyed by her presence because he doesn't like anyone spying on him. Wednesday asks Fester to search the hospital for someone named Lois, saying Lois could be a patient, doctor, or employee, and Fairburn shouldn't know about what he's doing. Fester reassures her, saying he's an expert in such missions. Before going to hospital, Fester checks into a hotel but causes a disturbance for the guests. The hotel manager calls the police, and they arrest him. At the police station, Fester acts crazy and eats the cactus on the desk. The police chief asks an officer to call the mental hospital to take him. This is exactly what Fester wants to happen, as it's his plan to enter the mental hospital. We see Wednesday with her mother, welcoming her grandmother, who gives her the ownership deeds to the grave she bought for her. Morticia doesn't like what's happening and asks Wednesday to leave her alone with her grandmother. After Wednesday leaves, Morticia asks her mother about what's between her and Wednesday. The grandmother refuses to say anything and advises her to let her daughter act freely and not monitor her every move, so she doesn't drift away from her. The grandmother surprises Morticia, saying she agrees to donate to the school but on the condition that she returns Goody's book to Wednesday. Morticia refuses and throws the book into the fire. At that time, Fester is in the mental hospital. Fairburn is surprised by the number of passports and aliases he uses and asks for his real name. While they talk, Fairburn's assistant enters and gives her an x-ray of Fester's brain. They are shocked to find his brain full of metal pieces. Fairburn agrees to keep him in the hospital until his condition is examined. Fester is relieved because his plan is going as he wants. Once Fester joins the patients, he starts asking about Lois but can't find her. The bird controller appears, watching Nevermore Academy from a high place. Seeing Wednesday with Agnes, Agnes tells Wednesday that August is the head of the doctors at the mental hospital, but before working there, he was a teacher at Nevermore Academy. August entered the hospital due to a nervous breakdown affecting his thinking. Wednesday moves quickly and tells things she wants to send an urgent message to Fester. She asks him to go to the hospital and tell Fester to search for August, as he will lead him to Lois. Enid comes and talks to Wednesday, saying she's surprised Wednesday has been busy lately. While they talk, Wednesday notices a school filling with ravens. She thinks this is the moment Enid will die, so she asks her to hide quickly. Neither of them has time to do anything, because the bird controller signals the ravens to attack. The ravens attack all the school students, causing chaos. A raven snatches Thing and flies upward, but Barry hits it with Fireball, forcing it to release Thing. Enid runs quickly and catches Thing before he hits the ground and dies. At that moment, Wednesday spots the bird controller escaping and runs after them to catch them. The bird controller disappears without a trace. Wednesday takes the cloak that fell from them and continues her way until she finds Fairburn standing in front of her. She is surprised by Fairburn's presence at the school at that time and suspects she is the bird controller. Fairburn tells her she came to take Capri to the hospital to treat patients with music. Capri arrives and is surprised that Wednesday and Fairburn know each other. Suddenly, they hear a car horn. Fairburn says her assistant is hurrying her to return to the hospital, then leaves. Wednesday notices Capri is nervous quickly and guesses it's because of Barry. She asks why she's so nervous, but Capri doesn't answer and changes the subject, asking if she will participate in the school's music event. This makes Wednesday suspicious of her, but she doesn't show it and leaves. Wednesday watches Thing on Fairburn's car, as it's a good opportunity for him to go to the hospital and inform Fester. Morticia comes and asks Wednesday why she sent Fester to the mental hospital. Wednesday says Fester is helping her with her case, and she won't let Enid die because of her. Morticia reminds her the birds had attacked them and Thing's life that was endangered, asking her to stop what she's doing, or things will get worse. At the hospital, Fester is surprised to see Thing in front of him. Thing tells him Wednesday wants him to search for August, as he will lead him to Lois. Fester immediately starts looking for August until he finds him sitting alone quietly. Fester says he's looking for Lois. It turns out August only speaks to the parrot on his shoulder. Fester shocks him to make him tell the truth. The parrot gives a specific number, and Fester understands it's related to Lois. Wednesday goes to Orloff and asks if he knows anything about a teacher named August. He says he only knows August had a daughter. Wednesday asks if his daughter's name is Lois, but he says he doesn't remember. Wednesday has no choice but to go to the hospital herself. At the hospital, Fester takes August's room and is surprised when August points to the maintenance room, repeatedly saying Lois's name. Fester is surprised but continues. After taking August's room, he returns to the maintenance room but is shocked to find Fairburn coming with security personnel, who arrest him. Fairburn takes him to the interrogation room, bringing the monster they caught from the school to scare Fester and make him tell the truth, threatening to let the monster eat him. Thing sees what's happening and quickly returns to inform Wednesday. Wednesday orders him to return to the hospital and stay with Fester until she finds a way to enter the hospital and save him. Wednesday sits with Agnes and tells her Capri is going to the hospital to give a therapeutic music lesson, which is their chance to go with her to the hospital, free Fester, and find Lois. Wednesday starts planning and explains it to Agnes. Enid comes and asks about her role. Wednesday fears refusing her, so Enid doesn't get upset, so she includes her, saying her role is surveillance and to inform police immediately if she gets caught or a big problem occurs. Wednesday hides in the trunk of Capri's car. Agnes and Enid arrive at the hospital and wait for her. When Capri arrives, Agnes uses her invisibility skill and sneaks into the bathroom without anyone seeing her. She sets off fireworks to distract the security personnel before they search Capri's car and discover Wednesday. Wednesday takes advantage of this and enters the hospital without anyone seeing her. The woman Fester met at the hospital helps her, hiding her in the food cart and taking her to Fester's cell. Wednesday steals the security guard's ID card, opens the cell, frees Fester, and they go to search for Lois. The monster in Fester's cell follows them. At that time, the guards take Marilyn to her cell. The monster attacks them, kills them, and Marilyn takes the opportunity to escape. Wednesday is shocked to see her in front of her, but continues with Fester. Suddenly, Fairburn and Capri hear a commotion outside. The security personnel inform Fairburn of everything happening. Fairburn orders them to activate the emergency plan quickly. Fester and Wednesday go to the maintenance room. Fester uses the number the parrot gave and opens the lock. They start searching for Lois and discover a secret door in a room with a staircase behind it. Before going down, they find a sentence written on the wall. Wednesday realizes Lois isn't a person, but the initials of a secret experiment conducted on patients. They go down the stairs leading to many underground cells. When Wednesday searches the cells, she discovers the outcasts are still alive, not dead as the newspapers claimed. They tell Wednesday the hospital administration faked their deaths to conduct experiments on them. Wednesday tells Fester that Galpin was afraid his son would undergo the same experiments. At that moment, Wednesday is shocked to see the bird controller appear with a red-eyed raven. She is stunned to learn Fairburn's assistant is the bird controller, and even more shocked to discover she is August's daughter. She says her father was conducting experiments on outcasts to use their supernatural abilities on humans. When her father got sick, she decided to continue his work. She says she is the greatest proof of her father's experiment success because she was born a normal human and, thanks to his experiments, can now control birds easily. Fester shoots a shock at her to get rid of her, but a large explosion occurs and all the electricity cuts off. Agnes and Enid are outside the hospital and are shocked by what happened. Enid takes out her phone and calls the police. Inside the hospital, all the cells open, and the outcasts run after August's daughter to take revenge for the experiment she conducted on them, except for the last prisoner, who stays in her cell. Wednesday goes to her and takes her to help her escape. At that moment, the monster starts regaining its human form gradually due to the brains it fed on during the chaos. Marilyn reaches her son Tyler's cell and frees him from the restraints. She hugs him and says she came to save him. Tyler says she is the reason for all his suffering and made him her servant to fulfill her desires. Marilyn realizes Tyler wants to kill her and tries to save herself, saying Wednesday is in the hospital and he should take revenge on her quickly. Tyler tells her he will take revenge on Wednesday, but he must take revenge on her first. Marilyn escapes from him before he transforms into a monster and kills her. He transforms into a monster, catches her, and kills her. Then he goes to find Wednesday to kill her and take revenge. All the patients run out of the hospital. Fairburn is in her office with August when the monster attacks and kills her. Then it approaches August and kills him too. Wednesday is with the patient, helping her escape, but is shocked to see Tyler in front of her. She tells the patient to escape quickly and stands in front of Tyler to confront him. Tyler hits her hard, throws her out the window, and she falls to the ground. At that moment, The police arrive and shoot at Tyler, but the bullets don't affect him. He attacks them, kills many, and runs into forest. Thing goes to Wednesday to check on her, worried to find her on the ground bleeding. And so, the first part of the second season of the series ends. Thanks for watching.